Hello everyone and welcome back to the 2025 preseason at Barker Disc Golf. This course is on the Parks Highway and our first location is the Old Nenana Highway.
Very first throw.
Starting off hole 1, Aaron threw a terrible shot that went into the woods and he immediately decides to take a mulligan. What a way to start the game. Up next we've got my first stroke. Aaron is zooming in hard on my face while I attempt to throw better than Aaron did. I end up with a crazy skip, and I don't get as far as Aaron did, but I don't go into the woods, so I have that advantage. And that leads me to make that second shot with kind of a crazy skip. I've been having a lot of crazy skips on my shots lately. If you watched the last video, you'll also notice that.
Hate that I had to use a mulligan. I'm going to have to make a good shot to make up for it. A little off, but not the worst thing that ever happened.
You're ahead.
Okay, fourth stroke. Let's see what I can do here. I feel like I can park this.
And it looks like you went a little to the right, but it came back left enough.
Yeah.
And we're back to my third shot, and I'm just attempting to get it into the basket for a par here. However, it floats way too much. Jeez.
Alright, shot number 5. I feel like I should be able to make that.
Oh, devastating miss. And you proceed to break the basket with your tap in.
Oh!
Gosh, oh my gosh, how did you break that?
Nice going.
Bummer.
And I'm attempting to make this bogey putt, but I missed, so I get a double bogey on that hole.
Alright, here we go on hole 2. This is a par 3, but
oh wow, look
Came
at
out
that
low.
skid. That was kind of
Would you like to
crazy.
redo?
Well, let's see if I can maybe throw it a little bit higher than you did and get a little bit more distance. My first shot as well, obviously. Oh my gosh, the exact same thing happened to me. Alright, but it looks like I made it slightly farther than you. Here goes your second shot.
alright, I feel like this is going to be a good one.
And it is pretty good. I mean, that has you close enough to where you probably will make that putt.
I'll take it.
Let's see what I'm going to do. Am I going to use a forehand to try not to hit the car? It looks like it.
Good thinking.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, that's giving me flashbacks to Lost Lake last time. The wind's kicking up for me a little bit on this one, so I try to stay low, and I end up getting this crazy glide shot. Alright, after that crazy second stroke, we're headed immediately back to me for my third stroke. Looks like I'm trying to make this putt for par, but I went a little bit to the right. I should be able to get a bogey, though. Here's your par putt.
Yeah, I don't feel good about this. No.
Yikes, you almost attacked me.
Gets it going
I feel like that
again.
happens a lot. And we're immediately back to you for your bogey putt. And I follow suit pretty much immediately after. For the next few holes, we're going to a new spot, the Monderosa. And we're starting off with Aaron's first stroke.
Oh, I remember this being actually a pretty good shot. That's a good forehand for me.
Yes. It was a little wobbly and it hit that tree, but it managed to get some really good distance. My backhand, on the other hand, has way too much Anheuser.
Whoa, Annie.
Sheesh.
Okay.
That was terrible for me.
Ready? Yes.
You are out in the open, and you are going forehand again. Bit off to the left, but it fades back to the right.
Guys,
Setting
what
me
if
up for
someone
a
else
four.
comes driving up?
Let's see what I can do here. Yikes, I'm in a terrible spot. How am I going to get through those trees? Just go for like a kind of a highs or heavy. Alright, back to my third stroke. Okay, that's 2 shots in a row for me, and I pull up my
Get
pants.
some pants up.
I need a belt. And I need to work on my approaching. I was way too much to the left.
Alright. See if I can do any better than that.
Nice.
No.
I mean, it was about the same. So, neither of us did bad on this hole. We are both about to get pars, it seems. Yes. I got my par, and yours should be even easier, because, I mean, you're even closer to the basket. Boom. That was practically a tap-in. On to hole 4, and it's your first shot.
Straight
This
from the
one right
tracks.
here is your line.
Yes.
Mando, stay to the left of the track, if I remember correctly.
And oh my gosh!
Into the
You
power
hit 2 power lines. Listen to the noise. Listen to this.
And did you hear the electricity too?
Listen to this replay, guys. That pew pew. It's crazy. Alright, now I'm kind of hoping to hit the power lines, except I'm worried that would mess up my disc. But I shouldn't worry, because I steered way clear of them. Oh no, water hazard!
Going back further without
That's a penalty.
And now I'm taking relief, going back even further. I think that was the best decision, even though I hit another tree.
Alright, here we go.
Second stroke for Aaron. Very close to the basket.
Nice. I'll take that.
Alright, it's time for my 4th shot. That was a pretty good layup for me. It's just a shame that it was already my 4th stroke. You're only on your 3rd, and you're already putting. I'm jealous.
Dang, I wanted that one.
Not quite there. This is my, I believe, bogey putt. So I have to make this. But of course I don't. Of course I don't. I mean, did you expect that?
That's a tough one on this basket.
I was too far away. Alright, Aaron gets a par. And we're moving on to hole 5. You can see this cool shot of that boat there. Aaron, not hesitating at all, just ripping it.
Whoa.
And that did not land in a good spot. Deep snow.
Yikes. Will I make the exact same mistake on my first shot? Looks like I'm taking more time to plan it out than I did last time, because I am still ashamed of my previous one. I've got that Anheuser going on, but that tree thankfully saves me from going into the water.
You were so close.
Here's where Aaron's shot landed, and he's having to try and get his... Take a mulligan and retrieve his disc with a stick.
And this is where my feet got wet.
I end up going across and grabbing it for him, and that's why this is his 3rd stroke. That berm kind of blocked my view, but you can see it's pretty good. Here goes my 2nd shot, so I've got the advantage on this hole. Though I was in kind of a bad position there. I land just behind Aaron thanks to that roll. Immediately onto my 3rd stroke.
Well, I hate that I had to take a extra stroke on that one.
Dang it!
Oof, too much to the right, and I fell down while doing that too.
That was a little weird.
Oh, you went back even farther than I did, and it looks like you're getting a bogey to match the one I got on the previous hole.
In there.
How fitting.
Right.
And now we're back to tie. Lunch break. Alright, welcome to hole 6. It's a par 3 this time, and Aaron, you're going with a forehand, it looks like?
Well,
are you?
I don't know.
Oh.
No. Oh,
Yes.
Okay.
Oh my gosh.
What was that?
Something redo worthy, apparently, because you took a redo for
First
this
redo
one.
of my life. Pretty much.
Not true. You've taken a couple redos before, but
I
they're
haven't.
rare.
Yes.
All right, I took it because I need the practice. I really rationalized it to myself here, and
You still kind of hit the tree, but it was much better.
A little more left, a little
distance
harder.
on
Would
it.
have been really good.
All right, time for my first shot. Looks like I'm just going backhand because I know I have a natural Anheuser. And there you go. It's in demonstration, except then it has
Wow.
the hyzer on it again. It had a reverse S. Similar to that shot from Aaron, which lands right
Good
near the
shot.
basket.
very nice.
All right, now it's my turn.
Get them britches up.
I'm about to see if I can make a nice approach as well. Answer is I pretty much parked it.
Wow.
All right, Aaron was bragging about his skills in between shots. Let's see if he can get
I was
his
hoping I was a little
skills.
closer than that.
Oh no.
Yeah, look at those skills. All right.
All right, and it's time for Aaron's 4th stroke as he gets a
All those
bogey on
skills.
this hole. Meanwhile, I get a par. Yay!
Bills.
Far.
On to a new spot, Topchicket Road. And we're starting off hole 7, which is a par 4 hole. Alright, let's see what I can do here. Oh no! Anheuser over the berm. Moving on to Aaron's drive.
All right, first shot at the tall jacket. little to the left, but not too bad.
Yeah, it was still pretty good. It didn't have much distance on it, though. Kind of the same story for your second shot.
Coming up a little bit short.
Yes. Looks like it's going to go far, but then it doesn't. Alright, here goes my second shot. I've got a water hazard to overcome here where I'm at. Looks like I'm pulling out my relay. Will I be able to do a good drive with this? Oh, gosh. Aaron doesn't film it, but it went way off to the right.
Into the rocks.
Or really kind of into the snow before the rocks, as you can see here. As now, I am grabbing my relay from behind this tiny hill. Here I go, making my putt or approach. That almost looked like it was slow-mode for a second, but no, that was just the wind holding it back. Oh my gosh, you almost rolled into the tipped-over basket.
That would have been so sweet.
Oh my gosh. That was kind of crazy.
Wow.
If you would have done that, I think that would have counted.
Oh, we would have had to count it.
Alright, fixing the basket and moving on to Aaron's crazy dance of a tap-in as he attempts to fix the basket once more. And then he steps back. The basketball's over, and then he taps in. Not at his lot. Well, here I am also making a par putt. Barely.
Got it.
Welcome to hole 8, where we are throwing off of these mounds.
Don't fall.
You can see we also get some pretty good views of the entire area from here. It's a nice bird's eye view. Will I be able to throw my disc far from elevation? Apparently not. I still end up skidding off the ground.
Okay.
Alright,
Turn.
Aaron's first shot.
All right.
That's pretty good. It gets some distance.
Yeah, that was good for me.
Lands in the snow, but that's alright. Alright, it's time for my second shot. It's an odd choice to use the harp here, considering it's very susceptible to wind. Which is probably why I didn't end up going very far there.
Short.
And it's time for Aaron's second shot, or your second shot.
Trumping through the snow. Finally got the extra tufts on.
Yeah, that was a good move on your part. Wow.
Parked it.
Very close. Not quite parked, but close enough for a very easy putt. Alright, I'm breaking out the stabilizer, which can cut through the wind more. So that's probably a good decision on my part. Looks like I'm going to wait this out until the wind dies down. So right now I'm just standing there now. Standing here now.
Good call. It was pretty windy.
I still went too much to the left though, which is why I got a bogey here. You, on the other hand, are getting a par.
Let's go from on top of those rocks.
And also we saw this helicopter. Alright, here we go. Hole 9, throwing from on top of this rock. It's an interesting tee position.
Don't land on the water.
Ooh, yay! I managed to sail right over that
Wow,
lake.
Nice.
Alright, here we have Aaron attempting to do the same thing.
Why do I feel like I'm going to end up in the water?
Because you are.
Bang.
Alright, Aaron's doing a crazy move, and he's throwing from the water. I don't think that's ever been caught on film before.
You got the boots. You might as well use them.
Boom,
Nice.
and that lands you next to the basket. I'm just trying to have as good of a layup as Aaron did. Will I be able to do that?
Good luck with that.
Ooh, yes! I actually managed to get as close to the basket as you did. Alright. And synchronizing putts.
Wow, I almost bounced out.
For hole 10, we're moving on to a new location. Ferry Repeater.
Also known as Mud Pit.
And I'm about to take my first shot on this par 3 hole.
You're going to need a little hyzer action.
And I have a little bit of it, but not quite enough. And I go a little far.
Okay, I think this is perfect for me with all my hyzer.
Yeah, usually you have a lot of hyzer. There you go, you're parked pretty much.
Dude.
Alright, let's see if I can make this far birdie putt. What are you thinking about this?
No way.
Probably not. We'll see. Yeah. No. Pretty close, though.
Nice lay.
You get a birdie putt to tap in, and I get a
Sweet.
par tap in. And here is your well-deserved birdie replay right here.
That was on target.
On to hole 11. We've got a very uphill shot here. Looks like I'm going first. And I actually have enough of a hyzer on this one. Yay!
Oh, that actually followed the curve of the road nicely.
Yours, too much hyzer, and you ended up in the ditch on the left.
Yeah,
Typical
you're right
bad
there.
shot.
You almost passed your disc.
I'm lost.
Well, at least you found your disc. You're stepping out a little bit to try and get a better angle, but you just end up making a weird looking shot. Your disc got vertical there for a second. That's not good. We've got my second shot. You can tell I'm a lot closer to the basket than your second shot was. So I pull out my Rock 3 for the first time in a while.
Rocking.
And it serves me right.
I feel like I'm gonna need to park this one.
And if you don't, you won't have a chance at par. Here you go, you're stepping up. Oh yeah, you managed to park it.
Wow.
That was clutch. Nice save on your part. Let's see if I can manage to park it as well as you did.
Yep, and that was my finger, in case you were wondering.
Yeah. Looks like I'm also stepping out like you did. And boom, I park it even more than you did. And I'm pretty sure I actually literally said that exact thing in real life. Par for me, par for you.
Yeah.
Bars all around.
Parked it even more than you did. Alright, hole 12. Throwing from another mud pit.
Let's see. Where are we at here? Can't really...
You're trying to go this
okay,
way.
I see.
And you end up fading back to the left.
Not horrible.
Alright, what am I gonna do here? Oh, I pulled out my Rakuten. I already know that means I'm going for forehand. That's a good decision on this hole, isn't it?
Couple little warm-ups.
Oh my gosh, I
And-
went all the way to the left somehow with a forehand? That doesn't even make sense. Alright, Aaron's second stroke.
Okay, I feel pretty good about this.
Let's see what you can do.
I think I'm gonna park it. Sizing it up.
Taking your time with this one, and
Letting it rip
Boom.
like a Beyblade.
and you did park it. Alright, time for my second shot. Let's see what I can do here.
Oh!
That's 2 for 2 on the crap.
Right into the top of the dirt mound.
Yep, and let's see if I can redeem myself here. Nope. Tried to go over the trees, and it just ended up doing that weird shot. Alright, par for you and bogey for me.
Whoop, whoop.
We do one like
Suck.
try to go down the hill a little bit or something.
Yes.
This next hole looks like a bad idea. We're throwing all the way from down this hill, and a bunch of trees are obstructing the path. Hence why, even though it's a short hole,
Yes.
it's a par 4.
And it's just as bad as that.
See what you can do.
Yeah.
Goodness gracious. Alright, here goes my first shot. Let's see if I can do any better than you did. Or if I'm going to make the same mistake. Oh, I actually got out of the woods. Yay! Alright, we're back to you for your second stroke, and you are shooting from a frankly terrible position.
Go.
I mean, look at this. Oh, you managed to get out. You managed to get out. That was pretty good.
I feel like I landed on a weird
First shot, right?
And you got some distance. I am also kind of shooting from a weird spot, but it's not nearly as bad, as now these trees are shorter than I am. So I should be able to get it pretty close to basket. Yeah, look at that. That was pretty good. Nice little approach from me. All right. Now you're still using a driver here.
I've been doing pretty well on the approaches with the driver.
And that one was a bit to the left. So that might have been an exception. I'm running up to my lie here, attempting to make a birdie putt for this hole. Will I make it? No.
Plastic
too much
chains.
to the left.
I
It
know.
was just too much to the left. Would have made it otherwise. Time for your fourth shot. This is for par. Uh-oh. Plastic chains. And that is why you got a bogey on this hole. On to our final location, a pull-out near Kobe Repeater. And this is hole 14, a par 3. I'm taking my drive pretty far.
Ooh, nice straight shot.
Thank goodness.
Not as far as I'd like, but it'll do.
Yeah.
Here goes you with your first shot.
It's hard when you're standing on a rock. You don't really get the walk up. You know?
Ooh, but you did get that
Nice.
skip, so that was nice. That might mean on my second shot, I might take a walk up while I can, or I may just... I can't tell if I'm about to use a mini or not. Oh, nope. Okay. I'm not doing a walk up, just an approach. Shishka, I'm going to have a hard time with that putt. As for your second shot, you look like you could get it pretty close. You've been doing pretty good on your approach game today. And that's no exception. Look at that.
Oh, yeah.
Easy par there. Easy par. Alright. We went ahead and got your par. My third stroke went from there to there. We forgot to get it on film. But here goes my bogey shot.
Not too bad.
Alright, we're moving on to hole 15 now. This one's a par 3. And it looks like I'll be going first.
Alrighty then.
I am preparing. Will I be able to do good? That looks pretty good. Oh, no.
Right in the puddle?
Oh, gosh.
Oh,
Wait, it's sitting on top of the ice, though.
nice.
Alright, we've got Aaron about to do his first stroke. Very
That
reliant
seems-
on the hyzer.
Yeah.
But he landed in
Did I see a
safe
splash?
No, he landed
Oh,
in the snow in safe territory, so
That's good.
yeah. He's taking advantage of a run-up tactic again. And boom, that one is very good. He's been really
Yeah,
good on
that's
his layup.
Great.
He's been awesome on his layups
right.
today. Now here I'm using the loophole that my disc is technically not actually in the water. It's sitting on top of the ice. However, I'm going to have to go into the water to get to
Oh,
it.
Henry, you need the tall boots, my friend.
Well, I didn't pack my tall
Tall
boots.
boots.
But the water was shallow enough to where I didn't actually get any water in my boots, thankfully. You can see I was
Are you
able to...
on ice?
Yes, I
Wow.
was able to set my other disc on the ice without it breaking.
Shot, it's nice and safe, getting up there.
Yeah, it wasn't very far though. Which is why we're immediately back to where... We're immediately back to me, I should say.
How far would you say this is?
Probably about 80 feet.
All right.
So, obviously I'm not making it.
But that was a great.
I do have an approach for a bogey putt. Aaron here is having a chance at par.
Will he make it?
Yes.
Makes it.
Nice.
Even with the plastic chains.
Not quite the same ring. Nicely done.
Okay. Go.
All right, here I am stepping up on the first shot on par 5.
Hole 16. That was a nice hyzer comeback there.
Got a lot of height on that one.
Yes. Now it's my turn. Let's see what I'm going to do. Am I going to go for backhand as well, or am I going to go forehand style? Looks like I'm sticking with a backhand, and yikes. Yikes, 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 yikes. That was a terrible skip.
Okay. Well, I had a pretty decent lead.
Let's see what you can do
What,
here.
did we say this was par 5?
Yes, and this is your
Alright.
second stroke. That did not go very far.
No. Higher again.
Yes. Let's hope I can get a little further than you did on your second shot. Looks like I'm taking out... What is that disc I have? Is that my relay? Yes, it is. And wow,
Ooh,
I kind of rip it, and it goes towards that rock a little bit.
you got some good distance on that.
Alright, here's your third stroke. You look awfully close to where you threw from the second time.
Yikes. So high.
Yeah, you
Why am I
need
throwing
to
it so high?
you need to work on keeping it low to the ground and focusing all that attention to height on your power distance. Well, no matter what you do, it's time to see what I've got. And it looks like I kind of had to rely on a skip for that one to save the day. But overall, it wasn't terrible.
I've got to park this one if I'm even going to get par.
And of course, you get within putting range. As always, I feel like you're on a roll on this game.
I've had some decent approaches.
Let's hope that I can match you on this. And jeez, I'm having to pull up my pants so much. I need a belt. Really bad. Sure, I already said that. And I landed in kind of a bad spot as I probably can't make this putt. Which is kind of sad.
Plastic chains.
Well, also, I just didn't throw it hard enough to get into the basket. Meanwhile, you have no problem with it. You got a par. Sadly, I'm getting a bogey. We won't be leaving you on a cliffhanger with this hole.
All right, even though I'm shooting from a cliff.
And wow, you parked it on your first shot. That's
Man.
pretty much a guaranteed birdie.
My best forehand ever.
Wow. Let's see if I can do the same. I'm also breaking out a forehand, it looks like. Shoo! Dang it. Way to the left. And now I have this difficult putt. Will I be able to make it? Of course not. And
Birdie shot.
that's why you got a birdie and this fancy birdie replay.
Please.
Sheeshka. I'm getting jealous of all these birdie replays that you're getting today.
Wow. Birdie shot.
So you got all that. Well, I just get a regular old par and that's it. Alright, this is our final hole, so I have to catch up to you here.
I don't see it happening. Not with shots like that.
Sheeshka. Oh, that snow prevented you from getting a good skip though.
Dang it.
Now this
There's my
angle.
finger.
This angle is kind of weird, so I've got to make this. Oh gosh. Too much hyzer. I did get kind of a skip though, but then the rock blocked it from going much farther. Alright, let's see what I can do on my second stroke here. I'm jumping around to switch to a forehand. Wow.
Ah, man, that was a great shot.
I feel like I'm better at my forehand approaches than backhand approaches now.
I wouldn't argue with that. That looked pretty good.
I'm going to start using them on our U.S. tour.
Here I am from the mud.
Yes, sir. Second shot. Wow. Approach game on point as always.
A little bit of a bad bounce, but
That
I'll take it.
skip was kind of rough, but that's the only bad part. And you can probably still make this putt, right?
I should be able to.
Ah! Plastic chains!
Got me again!
Oh my gosh.
Front and back of the chain.
A tragedy. I have a feeling this putt, though, won't be because of the plastic chains, but just because of my lack of skill.
Oh, man. Right off the top of the basket.
Right at the top of the bottom part.
The top of the catcher, maybe.
Well, I settled for a par, and after that shot of your nostril, so do you.
First time you've ever filmed yourself putting.
All right, our final scores. I was at 73 strokes, and Aaron was at 69, so he beat me by a long shot. What a shame.
Good day of golf.